Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. It is episode 45 of Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys. It is Tuesday, August 2nd of the 2023 year.
That's
We're
correct.
back again.
You know what episode it is? Episode 45.
Yeah, you could go Michael Jordan if you want.
I thought about that, but it's a little too common because it's when he came back from retirement. You know what I was going to do? Pedro Martinez.
Ooh, Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro, the legendary
Pedro.
pitcher from
In
the
your
Red
dreams,
Sox.
Pedro.
He had a mouth on him.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Pedro Martinez.
Won him a World Series, I believe, in 04, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was there.
That's
He
true.
done did it. Broke the curse, I believe.
Well, we are back, Chris.
We are back, Chad.
We have some new bourbon.
We have new bourbon. It's called Larceny.
Yep. But first, I want to hear, how the hell was your weekend, man?
My weekend was pretty good. It was continually busy, as most of my weekends seem to be every week. We talk about it.
Yep.
But I did get some time in this weekend. We are going to do a rec center later, but I'm going to talk about this because it's part of my weekend. I watched Underrated on Apple TV, the Steph Curry documentary.
Nice. Cool.
Super good documentary, super informative. Focuses mostly on like him going high school into college and a lot on the college stuff, and it bounces back and forth between like, you know, his NBA career and the college stuff, and it kind of ties in really cool. Super interesting.
Nice.
Other than that, we got Meryl's mom's camper out of the backyard, which was I thought going to be way more of an ordeal than it was, because I brought it in with a Bobcat because we couldn't get her truck in.
Oh, whoa.
But after she moved in, we did some modifications to the fence to open it up a little wider.
Okay.
So it only took me 3 tries back in and out to get her out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
exciting.
I saw a video yesterday, or maybe it was today, that Meryl posted of your garden, man.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
It's going crazy.
That crazy experiment really worked out.
Yeah, the hugel culture.
Yeah.
You got to get the hugel culture, you know?
You guys
Scandinavia, dude.
Veggies growing like some pilgrims, man.
Yeah, dude, it's actually pretty wild. Like, I mean, my mom's always had gardens and stuff, but this is the first time like I've been like actively watching it happen, and I feel like there's literally like we'll go out there and there'll be a zucchini that's like, you know, like this big, and then we go out the next day and it's literally like doubled in size.
It's so much fun.
I'm just
isn't
like,
it, man?
holy shit, dude! Like,
It's so crazy. I listened to that. You've probably seen Jim Gaffigan. He was on a couple different podcasts that we listened to recently, and on both of them, he's been talking about how he's gotten really into gardening, and he's opened up about how it's like a real kind of meditative thing, and it's nice to get there and kind of get your hands dirty and do it every day. And, you know, it's something that I've done for a few years now, and this year I've really toned it back a lot. But man, it is so nuts. Like, for the first time, I think last year, when I planted something from seed and then it turns into this huge fucking bush of veggies and stuff, it's the coolest fucking thing in the world, man.
Just eating for technically free. You just forget about all the money you spent getting it going, but
Yeah,
it's technically free.
pretty much. But I mean, the more fascinating thing than anything to me is it's like I feel like Jesse Pinkman from fucking Breaking Bad. I'm like, science, bitch.
Yeah, it's
Like, look at this
We're
seed.
growing
It's a
things.
plant.
Man. We cheated this year. We bought like the organic plants at Home Depot that were already grown.
It's
'cause
faster.
with all that fucking rain, it was like July 4th when we planted our garden.
Yeah.
So it's only been like a month.
It's been a rough year for
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah,
been
you might have
pretty
to
wild.
bring me a zook, man.
Dude, I'll bring you some zooks and some jalapenos. My serranos are starting to come in now. Waiting for them reapers.
That's I want to try the serranos.
The serranos will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Every
that's
time
it.
I get them from the Mexican guys at work, I'm like, dude, where do you buy these at? Because it's like
Hell.
lights your whole face on fire. Like
The
your
devil
ears are
sells 'em.
burning.
He's out of-
You're just buzzing. Like,
Yeah. The shit they fucking eat.
It's
is
like
crazy,
the Simpsons
dude.
episode when Homer eats that crazy pepper at the chili fair. The chili cook-off. You don't remember that? And
I
he
never
trips.
watched The Simpsons.
You never watched The Simpsons?
No, man. It wasn't really. It was more of a Family Guy, dude.
Dude,
I know.
sometimes you say things to me, and I'm just like, I don't know if I know you anymore.
I know, yeah. I surprise you sometimes, man.
No, if you should go watch that episode of The Simpsons because he goes like he eats this pepper, and like it's like a tripping episode. Like he
nice.
starts tripping and like goes on this crazy like adventure
Psychedelic journey.
psychedelic journey after eating this pepper. But
Fuck yeah.
It's another. It's like basketball. You just blow my mind
I know,
sometimes.
sometimes,
But
I lived in a cave.
yeah. How was your weekend? How are things for you?
It was eventful. We went to the Rockies game Friday night.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a good time. It was her like annual work event thing. So free booze and free food. Can't beat that. I definitely hoard out the podcast a lot.
You got to do that.
Yeah, it worked
guerrilla
out.
marketing.
I know that's what it was. Hopefully it works. But
Like
I couldn't believe it,
sports?
man. They were playing the Oakland Athletics, the worst team in the league. Like we were just talking about, possibly one of the worst teams in MLB history. And the Rockies lost to them.
Yeah.
Pretty disappointing. But, yeah, I mean, we weren't really there for the game. I was hoping to catch a little bit. I put some money on the Rockies, and that bit me in the ass. But other than that, I had a good time watching the UFC on Saturday night. We'll get into that.
Oh yeah, I
later.
forgot. I also watched most of that UFC.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
And then I also watched the Crawford fight at the same time, so I was like
You're
multitasking.
Yeah,
Yep.
double downing, double Downey Jr.
Yeah, double Robert Downey Jr. But yeah, it was good, man.
Nice. Oh yeah.
I'm excited to try this whiskey. Let's hit the lead off.
Let's do it, man. Let's hit that dang old leadoff shot. I feel like we need to get us with all the cool sound bites we're adding. I feel like we almost need like a sound bite for everything. But that might just be too crazy. I don't know.
You never know. We can try it out, man.
Yeah, the
We
lead
go
off, we
closer
could just
here.
have like a bat, like a
Just
home run sound. Yeah, I
That's
don't
what
know.
leads us off into the shot.
Well, this goes out to all you that are listening, and if you are listening and have made it this far, please like and subscribe to us on whatever you're watching or listening us on, and please go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. This one goes out to you guys, Chad Lee, episode 45.
In the books.
Let's get her done.
All right. Get her done, Larry. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the first one always, you just feel it like go through your whole body.
I've always been a more fan of bourbon than
When you
any
take
other
shots,
consumer.
do you get tingles in your arms?
My arms?
Oh, I might be having
I
a
think
stroke.
you might have like circulation problems. Man. Ooh, shit. Do I need to call a
No,
doctor?
no, I'm fine. I just
Scaring me over there, man. Shit. If you pass out, I'll do it by myself.
No, I just sometimes you take shots like I literally feel the alcohol like go through my body.
It's like
weird.
Frank the Tank.
Feels
so good.
so good on my
It's
lips.
the lips.
We're going to the quad.
Courses through the vein.
All right, well,
Let's get into it.
the headline.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
That's right. It is time for headlines. We're going to kick this one off. Chad wants to start with the NFL this time.
We
so
are.
We're going to get into the NFL right after you hear this.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
That's right. He was giving him the business, and we are about to give you the business of the NFL.
We sure are.
Do you want to
Let's
start?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do
let
it.
me,
I'll let you start.
I'm not even on the right page. It
Oh
shows you how
my
prepared I
God!
am.
Do you want me to start? Because I got a quick one. I'll start
ahead.
real quick. Alvin Kamara,
Oh, yes.
running back for the New Orleans Saints, Nolan, if you will, is meeting with Roger Goodell, or did meet with Roger Goodell this morning, in regards to his potential suspension stemming from a fight outside of a Las Vegas nightclub last year. So he was arrested for that and charged. So now we're waiting to see if he's going to get suspended and for how long.
What do you think? It's going to be 6 or 4 games?
Probably 4.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
could see him,
Since he didn't bet on anything.
appealing for
Now,
2.
if he had
Whoa.
bet on if he won the
if he
fight,
bet on one, if he bet, then they shoot you.
Yeah.
You just get killed.
Yeah, execution
Just
style.
execution
You
right
can't
away,
do that.
You're done.
yeah, they're like, we don't care if you fight, but if you bet on that fight, you're
if
fucked.
you bet on the fight of the fight or your fight, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's some inception right there.
It is. It's spin the top. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
So, you fantasy owners, careful drafting Alvin Kamara. this
Yeah,
year.
he could potentially be missing some significant time in the beginning of the season.
And we shouldn't even
so-
really call that a fight. That was more like a jumping, a mob or something.
Yeah,
because
because wasn't it like him and 3 friends that kind of like just beat the shit out of
I think
a
it
guy
was an
real quick?
ex-chief too. I can't remember the dude's fucking name, but he was the guy that we cut, and I think he went to the Raiders or something.
That sounds
And,
about right.
Yeah, I think it was after the yeah, right. It's like as soon as you go to the Raiders, you get a gun.
Yeah, yeah. That's
how it goes,
you get
man.
That's how you get knighted into the Raiderdom.
Let's move to some bummer news for your Broncos.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick tears his Achilles, man.
Yeah, it's not the only like major injury that's happened so far this year. I mean, there's been a lot in training camp, and it's just the thing that sucks for Tim Patrick. I think it was literally like a year and 3 days after he tore his ACL last year, so almost a year to the day.
It's a bummer, man.
Season-ending injury. And that's one of those things too that they always talk about when you do have like an ACL and stuff like that, and you're rehabbing to come back, is that you don't really realize how much you're still overcompensating with that other leg. And he tore his right ACL and he tore his left Achilles.
Oh, okay.
So,
damn.
yeah, it's one of those things where you don't realize it, but you're putting a lot more stress and tension on that other leg to compensate.
I know firsthand. After I tore my ACL, the next year when I tried to come back too early, I sprained my MCL in my right knee.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's super common and it's a bummer. But, man, I do feel bad for him because, man, like I told you, he's got good hands. It just sucks.
He is. I guess this is something that he did go undrafted, and this is one of the reasons why he did have some injury issues. But, I mean, this is shit you can't really... I mean, sprained ankles is one thing, but when you've got shit just popping left and right, like, that just sucks.
Well, what was the deal with KJ Hamler? It was a heart issue, right?
Dude, I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically like a heart infection.
Whoa.
And I guess it's gonna go away.
Maybe it was a broken heart.
Maybe
some chick broke up with him.
Maybe. I guess you can't really talk too much shit about him. He did come out and say like his grandma died last year, like after he tore his ACL, and he's like, I almost killed myself.
Oh,
and like came out and was like pretty proactive about talking about like the struggles he was going through. So I give him credit for that, and I do feel bad for him because the dude, again, one of those guys, much like Tim Patrick, who's just tried everything, and like as soon as he got there, his hamstring issues. Then he literally in one play tore his ACL and dislocated his hip on the same leg, just like he fought back, and then now we got little man trying to break out.
He's clawing at the door. Hold on.
But yeah, he fought to come back, and then now he's got this heart thing. So they kind of cut him because he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to play, obviously, start training camp, and probably won't play into the season, maybe. He's basically like a month out from being cleared from this medically. But, yeah, it's a super bummer thing. It sucks that they have to cut him, but unfortunately they have to make some room because you're down 2 wide receivers, and that was their room that they had the most depth in to begin with.
Yep.
Also the highest paid wide receiver room in the NFL. Nobody knows why, but they are.
That was the highest wide receiver paid room in the NFL.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah. Because Cortland and Tim Patrick both got paid, was like 2 years. One was like 2 years, $30 million or something like that. And then Tim Patrick was like 12 or something like that. And then Judy's, I think they had to give him his 5th-year option, which was like a decent chunk of change.
Yeah, it was a raise.
Couple million. So, yeah, like they've got a lot of money there. And then, unfortunately, you lose Tim Patrick. But there are a lot of, veteran wide receivers out there floating around. I mean, you got Julio Jones still floating around. T.Y. Hilton's still out there.
Surprised that these guys still don't have jobs yet.
Who else? Fuck. God damn it. The guy that was on the Browns, he signed there last year, I think, or the year before.
Jarvis Landry?
Jarvis Landry.
Yep. Yeah.
Jarvis Landry's still out there.
Well, speaking of other players that have left with injuries in training camp, Cooper Kupp, it seems like he might have pulled or hurt his hamstring so far. I haven't heard the severity of it.
Was he carted off or did he walk off?
I believe he limped off. Don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure. But then I did see that Calvin Ridley left practice due to a toe injury, and we know how nagging those.
I've been watching some of the videos of him at training camp, and again, it's training camp. That dude looks like he's ready to fucking just beast mode it on everybody. But looks like he's got a vendetta against the league, so we'll see what happens.
He's got to get healthy. His damn toes.
He's betting on himself this year.
Yeah. Well, let's cover
but
one
only
more.
Figuratively, not literally.
Yeah, figuratively. Let's cover one more quick story, and then I want to get to some juicy NFL news.
Oh, okay.
Sony Michel retires at 28.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That dude has had a hell of a career, though.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowls did he win with the Patriots?
Well, he won one with the Patriots, and then he won one with the Rams.
So
Yep.
two Super Bowls. He's a running back. 28, dude. That's
early, man.
If you're,
I think
that's, no, that's about right.
It is.
When did he come in the league? If he came in at like 23, 5 years, dude, that's it. That's the average.
It's just crazy because he could have been a starter.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And now and it's crazy too because what was his name? Williamson in Cincinnati, I think today just got carted off with an ankle injury, and he was supposed to basically be the second string guy next to Mixon.
Williamson, was that their new draft pick?
I think so.
I think I remember seeing highlights of this guy when they drafted him.
He was supposed to push for maybe even the starting job.
It's basically like who can survive training camp. That's really what it is.
Yeah, and I guess if you want to roll into the juicy news, speaking of which, I mean, things that went wrong last year, you look at Hackett putting the bubble tape on, the Broncos and how bad that went in comparison. I mean, we've seen it work with the Los Angeles Rams and teams like Green Bay who both do those things where they don't really play any starters. But Hackett last year failed miserably, and he got called out for it in the media.
I think we've all heard.
Turned into quite the
firestorm. The Mills Lane clip for the Rodgers versus Peyton.
Let's get it on!
Aaron Rodgers versus Sean Payton. Let's get it on.
Hey, all I know is Week 5's looking like it could get flexed. I don't know where it's going to get flexed, but it might get flexed.
It needs to, man. It
should be good. It was already going to be really good.
Yeah, it's already a 225 game, so it's not many other games going on at that time.
Dude, I think it could be I don't know depends on what the Sunday night game is, but with all this shit rolling into it, I could easily see this being on the ledger for a bump up to the Sunday night football status.
You remember, you know who it reminded me of when Rodgers was like, keep my coach's name out your mouth.
I know. I almost thought about getting the Will Smith thing out. Having that drop.
Just slapping Sean Payton. Keep my coach's name out your fucking mouth. It's juicy, man. It's nuts. I mean, it's crazy because we've heard a lot. The news just came out today or yesterday about Hackett basically saying like he broke the coach's code. Most times, for people out there that don't know, a lot of times coaches don't dog or badmouth any other coaches because there's a good chance you might be coaching under that guy next year or you might have to hire him.
Yeah.
It's just a rotating carousel of coaches. And Sean Payton, he came out and said the next day he regretted it.
To be fair, he never said him by name, I don't believe, in the statement.
There was only one head coach of the Broncos.
He said there was about 20 dirty hands, which if you divide that by 2, that gives you 10 people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'd think, and we all know Hackett was involved in that 10 people, but yeah, it blew up, and I don't know how I feel about Hackett's statement. I feel like it was if I was Hackett, I think I would have just been like, what's done is done. Let's just move on. I don't think we need to address it again. But he clearly came with a prepared statement talking about glass houses and how, they all have keys to rooms in the glass house and all this shit. And
right.
That's when he brought up the code thing. It's just, I don't know, man.
He could have easily said something about Bountygate.
True, he could have. But it didn't make him necessarily look much better.
Well, that's what everybody's been saying, too, is that, like, his coaching was that bad. And if you remember when Aaron Rodgers was interviewed by Peter Schrager on NFL Plus, Rodgers did not defend Hackett's coaching by any means. Talked about how he's a good guy. Talked about how he's a good man, good family man.
Yeah.
Nothing about his coaching. So that says a lot right there.
Oh, and there's also a little bit of rumblings. I heard from one of the guys on the Fan who heard from, I don't know what birdies, but he heard from somebody that the Jets PR team asked Peter Schrager to ask that question.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which could also roll into the whole Jets on Hard Knocks, which is going to be great. This isn't over because now this whole first week of Hard Knocks, which I believe is coming out.
I think this weekend.
Or is it this week? Yeah, it's this week. I'm pretty
sure. I think
sure.
it's on Sundays that it comes out.
Yeah. So we're going to hear about it all again and maybe more in depth. It might be interesting to see what happens.
I can't wait.
And I'm also just interested to see how well this is going to go with the Jets and fucking the curmudgeon that is Aaron Rodgers. And with them not wanting to show the cuts. And this might not be the best series of Hard Knocks. So
It may not be, but man, I do have a small hunch that. And actually, I'm glad I didn't forget this. This kind of will play into this news that I saw about Jalen Hurts, kind of into fantasy, which we'll get into later. But I have a small hunch that Aaron Rodgers, when he has a chip on his shoulder like he did in Green Bay those years he won the MVP, where it was like, oh, he can't fucking do it. He's old, whatever it might be. You know, he would almost create a chip on his shoulder if he needed to.
Well, he was supposed to have a chip on his shoulder last year, too.
Yeah, and it didn't really work
really
out
work
too
out.
well. Yeah. But when he does, that dude plays out of his mind. And he is one of the most talented quarterbacks out there. And you look at the talent around him, what's he like to do more than anything? Dump off to running backs. That still gains you a lot of fantasy points. So,
and guess who's going to be signing there? Possibly Dalvin
Cook, probably. I hope he signs there rather than the Dolphins. But the other hunch I have, and I hope I don't ruin any of my competitors'
advantages
into this, but I will say this. I was on the fence about maybe drafting Jalen Hurts again because I did last year, and he pretty much took me to the Super Bowl or close to the playoffs. Did you see the lock screen that he has on right now?
Yeah, he means business.
He does.
It's him walking off the field after losing
to the to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. If you have to pick up your phone and look at that every damn time, dozens of times throughout the day, you're probably going to be pretty motivated.
Yeah, he's definitely
something to think about.
Then they've probably got the easiest path in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. So in terms of like if they were in the AFC, it would be a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, because I mean, you see, I just shared it last night with old Dak throwing those interceptions again.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Like it's so funny.
He sucks. Fuck the Cowboys.
Okay, we can't be that biased, Chad. God damn it.
Yes,
I have one more thing though on the NFL.
Oh yeah, get into it.
Is that all you had?
That's all I got for the
Okay, so I have one more thing, and it harkens back to what we were talking about last week with Ioma Uwazurike.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As the plot thickens. So as of right now, the sports gambling probe by the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation names Uwazurike for not only betting on 2 Iowa State games he played in during the 2021 season, but making 32 wagers on Broncos players and games during his rookie season of 2022. Uwazurike is also accused of tampering with records, according to the criminal complaint. The other crazy thing, though, is this goes even back farther because he joined 6 other Iowa players and former players involved in a gambling sting. QB Hunter Deckers, kicker Aaron Blom, offensive lineman Dodge Saucer, wrestler Paniro Johnson, and basketball player Aaron Eulis. So this has been ongoing. We talked about Bad Sport the other week in terms of a rec center and something to go watch. This is going to be probably one of those 30 for 30s. There's going to be a documentary about this. There needs to be
because these guys are in trouble.
You've got 7 guys. The quarterback was 19 at the time, and his parents were on FanDuel making these bets for him. So now you've got parents making bets for underage kids. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Sean Payton came out today and said that because someone asked him about it, and they're like, well, what's your take on this? And he's like, this is nothing that we don't know. We already know all that's going on, and we're well aware of what's happening. So clearly the NFL knew about this. I think this all stems from the Iowa sting. I think they tracked his phone and ended up finding out that he was betting on NFL games too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It seems like they've been following him for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So we're going to see where this goes down the gambling rabbit hole. And this is also just going to bring up more debate as to, is it a good thing how much the NFL and sports leagues are in bed with the gambling casino companies. So we'll see what happens.
Sounds pretty juicy.
Super juicy.
Yeah. Drama.
Well, let's move into the NBA.
Hit it, Chris.
Take it roll! Take it roll! Outlet! Rangers!
Sandy, come on! Sandy!
T, come on. I'm burning.
I'm burning.
My legs are burning.
My legs are burning. All right, that takes us into the NBA. What do you have, Chuck? Because I've got one main thing.
I got the NBA warns Lillard not to bring up the Heat again. The memo that went out, and you have the memo.
I do have the whole memo. I was going to read the whole thing, and then this is why you get together before the show and talk about what you're going to talk about, because then we came to the decision that I should not read the entire thing
Let's
verbatim.
trim the fat a little bit.
We'll trim the fat a little bit. Basically, what happened is the memo was sent out that came to light that, Damian Lillard's agent, Aaron Goodwin, had called multiple teams, basically warning them that, hey, if you trade for Damian, he's not going to come play for you, and he will basically not fully perform any of the services that he's obligated to in his contract. The NBA said that they spoke to Goodwin, Lillard, and the several NBA teams to whom Goodwin spoke. Goodwin is denying everything, but they're basically saying, like, from now on, you are no longer allowed, which I didn't realize that this had to be said. Mm-hmm. But it's like one of those things, like, I didn't know I couldn't do that. It's like the old Chappelle bit.
Well, it's not. It's good that the NBA is finally starting to crack down on these superstars being like, I want to go there. And only there. That's not the way it works.
Yeah, and we saw it happen last year with Kevin Durant, where it's just like, I'm going to go to the Suns. And, I mean, thankfully the Suns were able to accommodate, Brooklyn in a way to give them a pretty damn good return. Mm-hmm. And they are saying that, Miami is probably going to offer 4 number ones, Tyler Herro, and, like, some other guys. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's going to be an insane haul, but I don't know. This is just not a good thing for the NBA to keep happening. And I think that's what this memo is basically saying. Like, you can't do this shit.
Well,
anymore.
And the CBA is already kind of built now to keep the super teams from happening. So hopefully this will kind of keep it from continuing, And I wouldn't be mad if he went to the Heat. I've said before I like the Heat, but it's like you got to do it the right way. There's rules in place for a reason.
Well, we know it's going to happen. He's going to go there. It's inevitable at this point.
It's going to happen.
Dame's going to get his way.
Yep. In other news, we talked about last week the unfortunate event of Bronny passing out, or basically having cardiac arrest. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
He is recovering now, playing the piano, doing other things. Young man, recovered, was in the hospital for a few days, and he's doing all right now. Just wanted to give an update on that.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, God forbid something terrible happened from that. It's crazy enough situation as is. So, it's definitely good to hear he's back on the mend, and I'm sure he will be fine going forward, and he will have a blossoming NBA career playing alongside his father when the time finally comes.
Yeah, probably so. And the last bit of news from the NBA, something that I was very happy to report on and see the headline for, 15-year ESPN commentator Mark Jackson got laid off by the ESPN.
Yeah, and, we don't like to revel in people's demises and, bad things happening to them. But I think it's safe to say after leaving Jokic off of his MVP ballot, not even in the top 5, and then just the total homerism for the Heat when it came, and the Lakers too, when it came to calling the games.
It was blatant.
Yeah, him and Van Gundy both, and I think that's why. I think people complained so much. That's why those guys both got fired.
I guarantee it. I mean,
or laid off,
we watched those finals, and I mean, we both saw it when you were even watching the game here. I mean, it was so blatant that they did not want the Nuggets to win, and that is the opposite of what an NBA commentator should be. Did you see when I read the article? This is what made me super psyched for this. Did you see who they're promoting?
No.
The legendary Doris Burke.
Oh, that's cool. They should.
I'm such a fan.
I'd also like to see JJ Redick get bumped up too.
I've heard he's in talks. If he doesn't get in,
I think I just listened to the Old Man in 3, which you turned me on to.
Yep.
He's very knowledgeable, and I think he's one of those players who, wasn't like a superstar, so to speak, that I feel like is really good to have in terms of just getting their viewpoint on the game.
I think they're really good at explaining the game, and there's so much complicated and complex nature to the game when it comes to different defenses and plays and structures and a lot of different levels to it. He can break it down for layman's terms, basically. But and then also Breen, what's Steve Breen? M-I-C. Is that his name? The guy that's been on
the
there
other
forever?
guy, yeah, the one that did not get laid off.
the actual good one that's always
Yeah,
been
I think
neutral.
he's called like 100.
Yep,
in
that was
finals.
That finals game was his 100. So, yeah, that I think is going to be the crew. Hopefully, Reddit gets bumped up to that. But I was stoked about Doris because I love it when she does it because
Doris is super knowledgeable,
and she is unbiased because she gave lots of praise to Jokic last year.
She came on.
Well, she did the old man in the three. Too.
She did, but she also came on 92.5 Altitude's radio station where the Nuggets. That's their home broadcast. She came on there and just was hearing her talk. Like it wasn't, even though she was very glowing about the Nuggets, she was also very glowing about the Heat. But it was just, she's extremely knowledgeable. And anytime she's talking, I'm just like, damn, dude, she fucking knows her shit.
She sure does, man. I'm always appreciative of her, and I think it's just going to do nothing but make ESPN better. Now, if they can just get rid of Perkins,
they won't.
No. Definitely
him and Mad Dog. I don't really like Mad Dog either.
Yeah, I listened to him on there
just
today.
like shock bullshit.
That's all it is, man.
And really, that's what Stephen A. is. But Stephen A. just has the prominence of being like, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, I do. He is good with boxing. He's good on a few takes. But yeah, I don't know. I really hope they get rid of Perkins and a few others like Bart Scott. I can't stand his because they're guys that. They make these outrageous claims just to try to get clickbait. And
who's supposed to be replacing Shannon Sharp on Undisputed? I heard somebody.
Richard Sherman, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. I hope Richard schools him because Richard's a smart dude.
We'll see.
He can
remember when he went all nuts?
Like how?
He got in trouble. I think it was after he went to San Fran. He tried to break into his girlfriend's house or some shit.
I do remember that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's pretty wild.
Hey, man, when you get hit in the head a lot, shit happens.
Yeah, and everybody has crazy days.
Yeah.
I've broken my hand punching inanimate objects, so, it happens to, anybody.
I've lost my temper a few times.
Rich and famous down to us blue-collar boys.
That is true.
But
let's move on from the NBA.
Yes, let us get into F1, because we have the sound now.
Dig it.
Yes, indeed. It is time for F1. We enjoy talking about F1. Chad almost watched a race this week.
Yeah,
almost.
I missed it. Yeah. I didn't so early, dude.
It does. I told you when it was 7 o'clock.
I know, but
the race starts slightly after 7. I got up. I did not watch the race, but I had it in my phone in my pocket, and it was playing. Oh, cool. And I was listening to it. So nice. I listened to the whole race.
You can still get a good taste of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've listened to baseball games. I'll listen to some stuff.
Yeah.
But again, after being assessed a 5-position penalty and starting in 6th, it didn't take long before Max Verstappen moved up the pack and basically got up behind his teammate Sergio Perez, who was leading up until lap 16. Max passed him and never looked back, eventually winning the race with a 20-second lead. He and Red Bull head into the summer break with huge leads in both the constructor points and Max Verstappen just in the driver points. The team is on a 13-straight win streak. Verstappen, which all goes back to the last race of last year, 12 straight this year. So they just won every fucking race.
Dominating, completely dominating.
And then, what was I going to say? Oh, and Verstappen is 1 win behind Sebastian Vettel's 9 straight wins, which is most in F1 history. So, yeah, we're looking at probably one of the best right now.
I think we're looking at
we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
He's definitely looking like he could be the GOAT. He is quickly climbing up the ranks, much like our Homer Town favorite Jokic, where just like every week is some new records being set, records being broken.
Yep.
He did get the fastest lap this week, but unfortunately, Sir Richard Lewis Hamilton beat him out on the final lap.
Has he been knighted?
He has been.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's English?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. I started to watch Drive to Survive.
Did you finally?
Yeah, I did.
Super good, dude.
Because I know, like, I recommended it to me like a year ago or something, and I checked it out like the first couple episodes. I liked it, but for some reason I fell off. And so I wanted to watch the most recent coverage of it, which would be last year's season. Right? So I'm like episode 3 in season 5, and it's crazy seeing like last year's results where Verstappen is like right there under it. Like he's close.
Yeah.
And where I'm at right now, he keeps like getting better and better.
I can't remember if it was last season when they made the move to Honda. I think as soon as they made the move to Honda with this new motor, they're just so far above and beyond. And the crazy thing is too is Sergio Perez finished in second, 20 seconds behind Verstappen in the same car, dude.
Yeah.
They're the same fucking car.
That's what I like about F1, man, because you see where it really is a lot about the driving skills.
Yeah.
And I'm learning all that on Drive to Survive because there was that one dude driving for, I can't remember who it is. He looked really nerdy. I can't remember. Haas?
Yeah, the Haas team.
The
yeah.
Haas team? He kept fucking these cars up. And then in the show, if another recommendation.
It might have been Michael Schumacher's son.
Probably. He fucked these cars up, man.
He
and
wrecked
the coverage of these wrecks, like slow motion. So she's getting out of the bath last night. I'm washing it, and I just like yell, "What the fuck? Holy shit!"
Oh, it was that one crazy one where the guy hits the wall like at 100 miles, like
because he was
160.
qualifying.
Yeah,
he had it qualifying. Nobody's even racing around you, and you
it
wreck
happens,
the car.
dude. Sergio Perez, I think, wrecked last week in qualifying.
I mean, shit, you're going 150 plus
Wreck
miles.
a fucking $1.5 million car.
Yeah, they say like every wreck is at least like $500,000 in damage, if not more. You know, and it's just like I look at it, I'm like, how does he survive that?
Yeah, no, and that's a crazy thing. That's why they have that crazy. I forget what they call it. I think it's called the halo, but it's that there's that bar that goes down the middle, which is right in your center line of vision, which I think is so crazy that they race at that fast with a pretty big like. I mean, it's probably about like that wide, and it's like right in your fucking line of sight, and they're ripping around the track, fucking going.
It makes no sense.
180 miles per hour, 200 miles per hour.
Yeah,
but yeah, this race was super fun to listen to. I didn't get to watch it, like I said, but
so how long are they off for? A few weeks, right?
I think it's 2 or 3 weeks. I don't remember when they come back. Let me Googleize it real quick, but Charles Leclerc finished in third, and like I said, the Lewis Hamilton did get the fastest lap. Again, they bitched at Verstappen because he wanted to put on new tires so that he could get the fastest lap, and then he did it, which is the crazy thing.
Jeez,
and he always
God damn, dude.
Shit, I can't remember the fucking the manager's name. He's married to fucking Ginger Spice.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Fuck. I'll think of it. But he was just like, Christian Horner. He's like, Max, I don't think it's smart to do this. And he's like, we have an insane lead. Like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
He's like, it's not gonna make a difference. And he's like, I just don't think it's very smart. And then at one point he said something after they got the fastest lap. He's like, I just really don't think we needed to do that. And Max Verstappen just radio silenced him, just didn't say anything.
Damn.
Just like, fuck you, dude.
That's awesome, man.
I'm
I
the
love
best,
how he's
bro.
like, yeah, I'm the fucking GOAT, dude. Don't fuck with me.
The next race is August 27th. It is the Dutch Grand Prix. And again, Chad, it is at 7 a.m. in the morning.
And that's 2 weeks from now?
I think it's actually 3.
Okay. Well,
because it's August 2nd. So, yeah, it's about 3 weeks.
I'll set my alarm. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I wake up way early during the week, and so I like to sleep in on the weekends.
Dude,
right?
I can't.
Yeah,
that's the
feel
weird
bad
thing.
for you, man.
It's like the most I could sleep. Like, if I make it to 8 o'clock, I feel crazy. I feel like I slept too much.
You need to take some illicit substances. That's what you need to do.
Maybe.
Yeah, it'll help.
I need to start just freebasing melatonin.
Cough syrup, dude.
Yeah. All right, that's it for F1. If you guys haven't listened to like what Chad did, go and watch Drive to Survive. It's super fucking entertaining.
It's cool.
Like I said, if any sport wants to get fucking famous, just make a show like that. Pickleball, make a fucking
lacrosse or something.
Yeah, pickle to my Rickle, you know.
Because after this, I want to keep watching Full Swing. I need.
Oh,
to
you never finished that one?
I never finished that one.
That
I'm really bad
good.
about starting shows.
I still
and
need
I
to
don't
finish quarterbacks or quarterback.
Yeah, I'm one episode away from that one too.
I've only watched one episode.
Real quick, let's move into boxing.
Let us do it
because
let's get it on.
We're just gonna use that one for boxing.
We're gonna use it 3 times this episode.
Yeah, once just for fun, and then
dude. So listen, a little backstory. I fell in love with boxing because of ESPN Classic back in the day. Obviously, I wasn't like a huge diehard fan where I went to a gym or anything like that, but like ESPN Classic used to play the Mike Tyson highlights all the time, the old fights, and I would watch them like crazy. I'm obviously a big Mike Tyson fan, so I've always been a fan of boxing ever since I was like 10 or 11. And for a long time, boxing has not been like that. We don't see brutal fights. We see hugging. We almost see these guys out here dancing.
Floyd Mayweather ruined it for a lot of people.
Floyd Mayweather sucks. It's not fun. It's technical boxing. What I watched on Saturday night was a resurrection of amazing boxing. Terrence Crawford went up against Errol Spence Jr., who was no bum by any means.
Yeah.
28-0, 22 wins by knockout, held one of the welterweight titles, and now it's been unified by Terrence Crawford. Got walked out by Eminem, so you know he means business.
Yeah.
That was fucking badass.
Did you walk out to lose yourself?
No, it was really weird. He didn't sing with them. He just walked out with them.
Oh.
I don't get that.
So he didn't walk out to an Eminem song?
No, I don't
that's
understand
fucking
it.
weird.
I wonder, like we were talking about at work.
I saw the Twitter thing that happened where he said like he added or tweeted at Eminem, and then Eminem was like, "Oh man, you're like one of my favorite boxers." Like that was how the whole thing happened.
Oh,
but
that's cool.
I thought he was going to come out with like an Eminem song, and Eminem was going to rap. That's what
always happens.
You have
to
rap,
yeah.
dude. Like, what do you mean?
I don't get it.
And Eminem was probably like, I don't rap for anything less than half a fucking million.
Yeah,
bro.
seriously. He's like, you didn't pay me enough, man. I'll walk with you.
Yeah, I'll walk, and even then, you're lucky. I'm fucking walking, dude. I should have had one of your guys carry me. It's just carrying Eminem out like a baby. Here he comes with Eminem, and Eminem's just like in this dude's arm, just like,
I'm here. Dude, Crawford put on a fucking clinic. I was watching this during the UFC fight, so my full attention wasn't on it. But eventually, I turned to just watching nothing but this match because it was just blowing me away how Crawford was just picking him apart, knocked him down. I feel like I want to say the fourth or fifth round. And then it was the referee stopped it. And when I was listening to coverage of it on Monday morning, a lot of people were saying his corner should have stopped it way before then.
Yeah, I guess at one point he was fucking him up so bad, he turned and looked at the guy who would be like the next guy in line to fight him, and like basically called him out mid-fight.
Jesus.
Like I think it might have been after he knocked him down. And the referee was walking over to him, and like he turned and he's talking to the guy, like
that's
talking shit
so
to
fucking
him.
badass,
like, you're next, dude. You're
that
next.
And the guy's like, "Oh shit, I don't want none of that." So, I mean, Earl Spence is no joke, man.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
was supposed to be. This is light heavyweight, right? Or is it heavyweight?
I want to say welterweight.
Oh, welterweight.
Yeah, I believe so.
But yeah, this was
I mean, both these
big
guys.
fight.
This has been the big criticism of boxing for the longest time is they can't get the big superstars to fight each other, and just. Canelo never fought Floyd in Canelo's prime. You know, he took Canelo whenever he was super young. You know, same thing. Floyd took Pacquiao when Pacquiao was too old. You know, a lot of times these boxers don't want to ruin their legacy, so they pick and choose these fights. And these guys happen to meet head to head at the best time in their careers. And Crawford made it look like he was fighting some bum. And I swear to God, man, I was so entertained watching this.
Yeah, I did not watch it because I was trying to watch the UFC and pay attention to that.
Yep.
I didn't do a really good job at that either, but
but check out the highlights, dude, because it is nuts. Because Spence did have some heart in those later rounds. I think it was stopped in the 9th or 10th round, and he just kind of, after getting knocked down, kept trying to like Rocky Balboa, like hold himself up. And then a lot of people are saying like Crawford felt like had mercy on him, like he could have made it way worse and ended it early, and then eventually just kind of kept hitting him, and this, you know, Spencer just couldn't do anything, so the ref stopped it. But super entertaining fight. For you those out there, go check out the highlights. It really does bring back the love of boxing for you.
Real quick, did you ever watch the movie The Fighter?
With Christian Bale?
Yeah,
I believe so, but I don't
About
remember
Mickey
much
Ward.
of it. I don't remember much of it, but it's
a really good movie.
I know it's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but if you go back and watch the Mickey Ward Arturo Gatti fights, dude, absolute fucking boxing wars, dude.
Nice.
I think there was 3 of them, and you're literally watching 2 dudes just fucking battle
Trade
to like
blows
to
back
like
and forth.
the bitter end basically.
Fuck yes, man.
Yeah, it's super good. I mean, I also watched a lot of the Mike Tyson fights because my parents would always go over to their friend's house and they would have like a big party and
Then it would end in
30
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I was doing was going around getting people beers for 25 cents a pop.
Nice.
At like 8 years old.
Oh, at least you got paid. I
Yeah.
never got paid for that shit.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I wasn't getting paid, and then someone was like, "Give him a quarter or something for going to get it, you lazy asshole." And it's like, yeah, I guess I could.
Right.
And that was back when people used cash all the time, so everybody had quarters. So I
Yeah.
was making money, dude. And then I think my mom got mad at me for taking money from people, and I was like,
What the
"Here,
hell?
I'm working here.
You're working.
I'm working."
Right. I
Little
dig it, man.
Little entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Too bad it didn't bleed into real life.
It will. It will.
That's right. We're entrepreneuring right now
That's what I'm
as we
saying.
speak.
Let's
is that
get
all you got
into-
for boxing?
Yeah, let's get into some. You've got some golf.
I do. I got one thing for golf.
Son of a bitch, Paul. Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
That's right.
Classic.
Answer me.
Yes.
Damn it. Yeah, in golf, PGA adds Tiger as the 6th player director, and they made changes to their governance in terms of how they operate as a whole. This was all after the outcry of the players due to a lack of transparency leading up to the merger. Jay Monahan stated today that moving forward, no changes may be made without prior involvement and approval of all 6 player directors. This was basically all... It all stemmed because on Monday, 41 players sent a letter to the PGA demanding more involvement in anything that happens going forward. So,
Oh, wow.
and this is kind of what I was bringing up to Adam last week, is what's going to happen to make this better. And I think this is...
I think it's a step we're starting to see.
Yeah, the beginning stages of them trying to mend the fences and build the bridges back to the way they were.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Unlike the NBA or the NHL or any other major sports, there's not a players' union, right? For golf.
There kind of is, because there's like representatives for the players that deal with the PGA.
Okay.
So it's almost like there's like a union, but it's not like a union in the sense of a union.
It doesn't seem like it.
No, because I think, and that's what I think they're trying to do now, and that may be what comes from this whole thing, is that there is maybe some form of union that comes.
Right.
Because that's the thing that they're bitching about, is like they want like more guaranteed money, because a lot of these guys travel and then they don't make the cut, and that's all out of your pocket, and you're flying, and you know you're doing all this other shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This could be the beginning stages of some form of a union, but yeah, I don't think there's actually like a governing union.
I think it's a
for
good
the
thing that
players.
Tiger's on the board, because I think he is straight laced when it comes to it. He's gonna stick to
He
his
and
guns.
Rory were the most adamant in terms of, and it's kind of like I was saying though. I think Rory was starting to flip a little bit towards the end there, but yeah, that's all I've really got for golf.
Okay.
We'll see what continues to transpire from all of the things with this merger. It's definitely going to be interesting. We've got the last major already wrapped up, and the next thing happening is the Ryder Cup, and that's in, I think,
2 months
2
from
months.
now.
So
Yep.
that's probably the next time Adam will be on. We'll
Fuck
be
those Brits.
damn near into the NFL season by then. We will be into the NFL season by then.
Oh yeah, we definitely will be.
Because yeah, the first preseason game is next weekend, dude.
Well, no, the first preseason
It was
game's
Thursday.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Hall of Fame game.
The stupid Hall of
I
Fame
know,
game the
that
week
nobody
before
watches.
anything. Yeah. I'm gonna watch. We're gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch a little bit.
Yeah.
I always watch
We'll
like the
tune
first
in.
few plays or first few series, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know any of these players.
You got
Who is on the Hall of Fame game? Isn't the Jets? No, they're not the Jets.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see real quick before we move on. Hall of Fame game 2023. Cleveland Browns will take on the New York Jets in the
I was right.
2023 Hall of Fame game, August 3rd. That is tomorrow.
Two
people.
controversial figures: Deshaun
Yes.
Watson and Aaron Rodgers.
A guy who likes massages and a guy who likes ayahuasca.
Go at it for the Hall of Fame.
One's tripping, one's rubbing. You know what I mean?
Aaron Rodgers may still be in darkness. We don't know.
Yeah, he finally rolled out behind the rock, much like Jesus when he came back.
And he kind of looks like him a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Well,
that's going to take us into, what are we going to get
the
into
last
now? The
subject
MLB,
of
the MLB.
headlines. Hit it, Chris.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Gonna light your ass up, meat.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Underrated movie, man.
Oh, dude, Major League's fucking awesome.
Those movies, dude. They're
I
good.
love the manager. That guy as an actor, it just sounds like it hurts to talk. You know what I mean?
Dogs like this.
Yeah, God damn it.
Yeah.
Can't tell you
Got
what to do.
huge fucking bald chew in his fucking
Around
mouth.
here, we wear sleeves and hats, Vaughn.
You know, a few sound bites I tried to look for, but I couldn't find anything good, was Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Gary Busey, man.
Gary Busey.
As the Rocket.
The Rocket.
It was a great movie as a kid when I was growing up, man. I had it on VHS.
Now, Gary Busey's a fucking psychopath.
Total psychopath, man. Lost it. After Point Break.
Well, he got in that motorcycle accident
Yep.
and his head slammed into a curb at like 40 miles per hour, and ever since then,
You get changed.
yeah,
after that.
he's a different human being.
Yeah.
Just like the Vontez Burfict hit on Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Roseanne Barr was Ambien.
No, she, as a
Oh,
kid,
no, you're right.
had
That is
that
right.
head injury.
Yeah, you're right. She
Yeah.
got hit by a car or some shit. I was like, what are you
But the
talking
Ambien
about?
didn't help.
The Ambien definitely did not help.
All right.
We're into MLB, though. I'll start since you've got the majority of it.
Okay.
A couple of things. Mine are mainly based on trades. The Mets, after spending the most money of anybody this year and spending or having to pay a shitload in the luxury tax, have officially blown it up. They end up trading Max Scherzer to the Rangers, and they trade God damn it, what's
Justin
his name?
Verlander?
Justin Verlander to the Astros.
Back to the Astros.
Back to the Astros, where he once won a World Series, and now both of them are deadlocked in a race for the National League West.
That is
as
true.
They are neck and neck.
It's great.
I
I
believe
mean,
tied.
I would like
now.
to see one of these maybe in a playoff matchup going forward, and one of them gets the wild
it's
card. Or
probably
something.
going to happen, but the big story about the Max Scherzer trade is that he released, or basically kind of laid out a conversation between him and what's his name, Billy Epler.
Yep.
And what it says is, let me read it to you. This one's short. It's not like the NBA memo. I talked to Billy, Scherzer told The Athletic. I was like, okay, are we reloading for 2024? He goes, no, we're not. Basically, our vision now is for 2025, 2026. 2025 at the earliest. More like 26. We're going to be making trades around that. I was like, so the team is not going to be pursuing free agents for this offseason to assemble a team that compete for a World Series next year? He said, no. We're not going to be signing the upper echelon guys. We're going to be on the smaller deals within free agency. 24 is now looking to be more kind of a, God damn it, I can't read it. A rebuild year.
Yeah.
So
after spending all that money,
they fucking spent so much money, dude.
Well, let's talk about how much money they have to eat now that they traded those two pitchers away, and they did get rid of other good players too. But those are the two big ones. Just in those two players, they are going to eat $35 million.
No, it's no different than my Rockies, our Rockies, if you will, because you live here now and you go to the game, so I'm going to say you are now a Rockies fan.
That's a stretch.
Our
That's a
Rockies. Yeah, they're trading guys away and paying them to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, Nolan Arenado is still the highest paid player on the Rockies, and he plays for the fucking Cardinals, who he left to go to a winning team, and they are also, I think,
Let's see.
one
I'm going
above
to bring up the
the
standings
Rockies.
here in a second. They're in the last place in the Central Division.
Oh shit, they're in the Central. My bad. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Oh, and then just to talk about the Rockies real quick, they traded away C.J. Cron and Randall Grichuk to the Angels. They also traded away Mike Moustakas to the Angels. That was after the Angels beat him like 2 weeks ago.
About almost a month ago, and that was kind of
They literally traded
interesting.
him after they got fucking hammered by him 20-something to nothing, and then they traded him the next day.
He immediately made a splash for the Angels too.
Yeah.
And I've always been partial to him because he won the World Series for us on the Royals. He is playing third base now for the Angels, and I was watching him against the Braves the other night. Man, he's playing good. He's a big dude, so I like watching those big baseball players that like look like old school Babe Ruth type guys that like
big
you
body
can't
dudes.
run to first base,
but they can.
All you gotta do is get that momentum.
Yeah, once that momentum goes, it's hard to slow down. But then the Rockies and this is exactly what they need to do, and I think their new president of baseball operations is doing a good job. And getting rid of everybody, what's the fucking point? You're not going to do anything. Why keep these guys on the books?
Yep.
We're already got Chris Bryant on the books. He hardly plays, and we're fucking paying him $20-some million a year.
Money, yeah.
So get rid of all these other guys, and they've acquired now with the draft and these trades 13 pitchers to add to their farm system. I think 8 of them are A to double A. So they're like guys that are ready to like maybe within a year start producing and actually being in the major leagues. So you're actually seeing the Rockies have somewhat of a direction as to what the fuck they're doing, because the biggest issue is that nobody wants to come pitch here because it's such a hitter's area, such a hitter's park, that like they're just like, we can't get anybody to come here. So it's like you have to get these guys almost like running backs now. Get them young. And then as soon as they get big, somebody's gonna poach them off you. Yep. But you got to have 3 guys in the stables just ready to take their place.
That's a good way to put it.
Otherwise, you're gonna get so far behind like they are, and there's just no catching up with these teams that can get these top tier, top echelon players and pitchers.
Yep, very true.
So
also, Astros Framber Valdez pitched a no hitter last night through 8 innings. Technically not a full no hitter, but it makes big news because it's the same day the Astros trade for Verlander, and Valdez won 2 games in the World Series last year, and Verlander won 1. So these guys reuniting, and a lot of people are talking about how, the Verlander thing's no big deal. He hasn't done that well this year. That may be kind of true. He had a rough start, but I was reminded today. Well, his last 7 starts, he has an ERA of like 1.49.
Yeah, and he's going back home, basically.
Yep, he liked it in Houston. Yeah. He did really well in Houston. Won a Cy Young there, I'm pretty sure.
Met his wife.
No, did he?
I'm pretty sure. I forget what her name is.
I think it's Angelica.
It's not Angelica.
I just made that up. Bambi.
She was on one of those like commercials for that Clash of Clan games that made no sense, where there was like real people in the commercial, and you're like, I don't get what's going on. Not Heidi Klum.
Well, that would be one hell of a name. She's
Fuck,
really
I don't
famous.
know who it is. Either way, she's a super famous fucking supermodel.
Okay.
Either way.
Yeah.
I digress.
Another bit of news. Aaron Judge is back, and he hit a homer plus 3 hits in his second game back. And he really makes the Yankees move, because now that he's back, they're starting to win again. Tonight, they are up on the Rays, a really good team. If I can get this to fucking load.
God damn.
Last time I checked, it was like 7-2 or something. But basically, yeah, it's notable. Even though the Yankees aren't doing too well this year, Aaron Judge is a very exciting player, and yeah, we might see the Yankees make a surge in the last half of the season.
Yeah, when Aaron Judge came into the league, everybody was like, this guy is a fucking genetic freak of a baseball player. Like 6'8", 280. He's like LeBron playing baseball.
Fucking huge,
just a monster of a human being. But the thing is, everybody's freaking out after the trade deadline about the Yankees. Like, what are you doing? You didn't really make any moves.
They didn't.
You kind of stood pat, and
yeah.
We'll see where they go with this, because I think they're really banking on these guys getting healthy and coming back and then being able to make a push. But the American League's tough, man.
Yeah, if they don't make the playoffs this year, which is right now, if the playoffs started, they wouldn't make it. So, yeah, they would be the laughingstock of the league.
All right, well, I think it's that time, Chad. Unless you got something else.
I do.
Or do you want to go through the...
Let me
go
through the standings real quick.
Shit,
Let's just take a second.
I almost cut you off.
No, you're good. Let's start in the American League. Baltimore Orioles still in first place above the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are 1.5 games back. That is a hell of a division. We were just talking about the Yankees. Going through this division, like the Red Sox would be leading in like the AL or the National League.
Yeah, most of those teams would be leading in other divisions.
It is a juggernaut of a division.
Like the AFC West. Or
you got the Orioles, yeah, and Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Yankees, and all of them have winning records. But the Orioles are atop that. And then down in the Central Division, Minnesota Twins, 55 and 53, above the Cleveland Guardians, who are 2.5 games back. And last place in that division is my Royals, who actually have won 4 games in a row. Shockingly.
Ooh, they're on a roll.
Made me some money last night. Couldn't believe it.
Careful.
Yep. Then in the West Division, the Texas Rangers are rolling. They're playing really good ball this year, 61-46. And they are tied, actually, with, like we were just talking about, with the Astros for the lead. And then in third place, Seattle Mariners are 5.5 games back. And, of course, in last place is the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
They're probably going to set records for the worst team ever. So.
They just can't wait to go to Las Vegas.
But they beat the Rockies this weekend, and I think they won the series. So,
so they got
Go
that
Rockies.
on them. And then in the National League, my Braves, 69-37. They are 11.5. I think the last time I brought this up, they were 7 games up on second place.
Yeah.
Now they're 11.5 games up on second place, the Phillies. Running away with that division. And then in the Central Division, the Reds have moved back to first place. Pretty cool.
Cincinnati.
Ellie De La Cruz has been playing awesome, super exciting
Literally,
player.
I think this all stems from him.
It really is.
Because I think they were in third place or something when he came in from when they brought him up.
He's given them a
So,
spark.
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
definitely a spark there. Reds
They are
on
only
fire.
1 game up on the
They're
Milwaukee
red hot.
Brewers, though. So they're right neck and neck with the Brewers. And then down in the West Division, the LA Dodgers are in first place now. They usurped the San Francisco Giants, who are 2.5 games back. So, and then, of course, like we said, the Rockies are in last place.
Yeah, and the Padres are in third.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the Diamondbacks took the...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the Padres have been falling.
Yeah.
Yep. But that wraps it up for baseball. Chris, play me some new music, bro.
Yes, indeed. It is that time for the music break, and it is a new month. It is August, and that means we say C'est la vie to the Fricashinas, and we welcome Messiahvor to the Fringe Fanatics musical playlist, I guess, if you want to call it that. I was trying to come up with a cooler name for it.
Playlist
but
words.
Musical. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, Messiahvor is a super cool band out of Denver, Colorado. They're a lot more on the metal side of things. This name of this song is Hopes of the Living Dead.
Wow.
It is off of their new album, Transverse, and you are going to hear it right now. We are back. You just heard Messiahvore, Hopes of the Living Dead, off of their new album, Transverse. You can find them on all things streaming. Everybody goes to Spotify, but you can find them on all the major streaming platforms. You can also visit messiahvore.com to find out when they're playing next, buy merch, and purchase music directly from the band. As always, please purchase directly from us. It cuts out that middleman and gives us that money right in our pockets. Let's get into it, Chad. We're back.
We are back, and we're going to mix it up a little bit.
We are going to mix it up a little bit. We've got something going on. The Fringe Fanatics Fantasy League inaugural season is happening.
First season.
The first season.
Chris and
now.
I, since we count as 2 people in the league, each invited 4 other people that we know that are very versed in fantasy and take it serious.
Yeah.
And we came up with this league, and live on the podcast, somewhat live, where we're doing it live now, we're going to select the draft order.
Yes, right now we have a fantasy football draft order.
First we need to take
we need to take a shot. We're going to take a shot at the turn first.
We got to get this right. It's nice having whiskey this week since we didn't drink last week.
Yeah, we didn't. I had to work at night. It was dumb.
Yeah, and I just didn't feel like drinking.
All right, here's to our new musical break guest, Messiahvore. Here's
Messiahvore.
to you if you've stuck around, and if you're in this fantasy league, you had to stick around because we basically held you guys hostage, and you have to listen to this episode to find
what
out
we did there.
when the draft is and what your we know when the draft is, but you have to find out what your draft order is.
Yeah,
And that's what
when you're
going to
be drafting.
So
Yep.
we are going to do that right after we take this shot. So here's to everybody in the league, and here's to me and Chad Lee in episode 45 of Fringe Fanatics.
Here we go.
Cheers.
See, I like it. It's good shit.
It's got a bite. I got to drink it out of the Long Branch Salute.
Oh, yeah. That's from Dodge City, Kansas, buddy.
Woo.
Mom picked that up for me.
Ugh, that one snuck up on me. All right, so I'm going to be filming this because in case anybody wants to bitch and complain about what the actual draft order was,
Gregors.
we're going to show you that I am pushing this button right here, right
Here
now.
we go. 3, 2, 1.
And the draft order has been generated. I'm going to scroll down right now and release it to you guys. Wow, I got first. So, number 1, Chris. Number 2, Josh. Number 3, Chad. Number 4, Greg. Number 5, Samir. Number 6, Minkus. Number 7, Brandon. Number 8, Alex. Number 9, Derek. And number 10, I'm so sorry, Travis. You are the unlucky number 10.
It's not unlucky. A lot of times you get
the
that double
down.
pick.
The
Yeah.
double down. There is strategy to this. So,
Big time. I hate the number 3 pick. I don't like that.
yeah, it does suck, the middle picks, because you're just like, I'm fucking waiting.
No,
I just feel like I'm fucking waiting.
5 is the best. 5 is right there in the best because you don't have you get good players. You don't have to get waiting around.
you're gonna
to get horrible players.
The only thing that sucks is you on the second go, you get like a little bit. It's a gap.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a big gap. But
Yep. So let's read through them just one more time, a little slower.
I can't believe I got number 1. I think
That's
last year I was
ridiculous.
last.
We're gonna get complaints on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
But I'm sure you don't want the number 1 pick.
Not
no.
really. It kind
Yeah.
of stresses me out, to
Yeah.
tell you the truth, because I'm going to take
That's
Jalen
hilarious.
Hurts.
You asshole. You fucking dick. Take Justin Jefferson. You know what you're gonna
So in the number 1 position, it is me, Chris Zane. In the number 2, we have Josh Harris. Number 3, Mr. Chad Lee. Number 4, Mr. Greg Maher. Number 5, Samir. I don't know Samir's last name. I just know him as
do.
Samir.
I believe it's Imbrami.
Oh, yeah, Samir
Irabami.
Ibrahim. Samir Ibrahim. And if that's wrong, Samir, you can
I'm
call me a
sorry.
fucking asshole.
Yeah, call him an asshole.
We have Minkus at the 6th slot. In number 7, Brandon, what's his last name?
Badzinski, I believe.
Badzinski. Number 8, Alex Taylor. Number 9, Derek Johnson.
Yep, Derek Johnson.
And then number 10, Travis Plumley. And also we want to mention Minkus and Travis are from the Knee Circles podcast.
That is true.
They're our brothers in podcasting as of now. We are linked at the hip. We are doing this draft together, and we might be talking about it on both podcasts. It's a good way to get both podcasts out and about and both in front of both of our sets of fans. So
yeah, they're good. They're
here
funny.
we go, man. I'm actually kind of bummed I got first, but it is
I
what
bet so.
it is.
I know. I hate having an early pick, dude. I think I had the 3
Damn
pick
it.
in one of my leagues last year too.
Shit. All right. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
It is.
I could change the entire draft with one pick.
I know you're gonna take Mahomes, man. I know you
I'm
will.
gonna take him.
Yep.
Patty Mahomes. I'm here. We're gonna do it.
I'm here.
I'm here.
You woke up the wrong motherfucker, man.
And see, and that was cool. And the other night when you guys were watching out there, he did something again in like the second or third episode, and he just kept saying shit. And I
he
was
just
like,
repeats.
dude, 3 is fine. And even then, 3, you're like the third one, like I get it.
You know,
He's a 4 or 5 guy.
I hate to criticize, you know,
He's a
because
4 or
I
5er.
was criticizing, but then when I saw an interview of like why he does that, he says he just kind of blacks out, and
I
that kind of
get it.
makes sense because he'll just go blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I get it. If you're in that fucking zone, you can't think
Yeah,
of any
I
other
mean,
saying. You're just stuck on
If
one
anybody's
saying.
seen me blacked out on a tyrant, like or in a tirade, I don't say one thing over and over again. It's like diarrhea of the mouth. He just goes on to like, boom, same
Dude,
fucking thing
I
over and
beg
over
to
again.
fucking differ. I have watched Chiefs Broncos games with you where you have said in my ear, obnoxiously yelling, "That's a $50 million quarterback. That's a $50 million quarterback." Like Cartman, dude. I'm like, I wanted to hit you, man. I really did.
That
I
was
love
'cause
you.
His knee was
I
hurt,
hate
and
you.
then they ran a quarterback sneak on like the 2, and his fucking kneecap fell off.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's $50 million quarterback because that was fucking dumb.
And you said it over and over again.
And I did that too with the 3 interceptions.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
see
do the same shit.
You can't
too, though.
criticize
You do
Mahomes.
the same shit too, though.
15 in a row, baby. 15 in a
Yeah,
row.
yeah,
15 in a
yeah,
row.
we know.
Yep,
We
that's
know.
right.
We know.
You can't criticize Mahomes. You get stuck on one thing and you just roll with it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Still can't stand
The
it.
draft order is set. Fringe Fanatics. Hey, and for our listeners out there that happen to be interested in this, I really doubt they are,
All
but
of
we're going to
them.
include it no matter what. This is a $100 buy-in, so there is decent money at stake, and there is a $10 extra fee for the
Highest
highest
score.
score throughout the league, and we are proposing, and we're going to say this in the text group of the league too. I have always wanted to have a funny, good punishment for finishing last place. I've never seen it done in a league I've been in, and I want it. If any listeners out there or any of our other team owners in this league have a good idea, please pitch it. Greg, we're not going to do something stupid where we're going to run streaking through the quad. I know what you're thinking.
He's
Not
still
that.
mad that you made him wear that Kansas City Chiefs hat.
And that's the rule.
Still
I
mad
mailed
at
it to him.
Yeah.
I fucking
I think
mailed
he
it to him.
probably burned it right
I-
afterwards.
Yeah,
But
I
it
bet
was,
he,
it was
he
well
probably
worth
wears it
Yeah.
every day. I know he
probably
does. Yeah.
It was fucking-
But yeah, so we
Cuck.
definitely want that. And the last little bit on this, I am going to propose maybe if everybody's willing to chip in, because I want this to be an annual thing that we do every year. Hopefully we invite the same guys back. And if I didn't say already, the people we invited, the reason we wanted to get people in this is because we all can't stand playing fantasy with people that don't care enough about it, that forget to set their lineups, don't know a
I
player's
didn't
on
realize
bye.
the game was in London.
Yeah. Oh, I woke up late.
Yeah.
No, we want people that are die hard, looking like
About it.
Charlie
About it.
from fucking Always Sunny with
The
red yarn
strings.
everywhere. This player's gonna play here. That's what I want. I want a
Yeah.
psycho, and that's why, because each one of these players, Derek Johnson, my girlfriend's brother, won like the last 3 years. I won last year. Chris won in his league last year. Well, our league.
Yeah.
And then
2 years ago.
yeah, that's right, because I won
Yeah,
that
you
league
won
last
last
year.
So
So
yeah, we wanted people that were heavy hitters, people that are,
Mhm.
like we said, legit down about it, and we tried to get as many people who are either have won leagues or have been right up there at the top of leagues consistently. So
and on that note, I have looked up
have I.
the right trophy to do this, and I want it to be a belt,
Yeah.
a champion's belt. And if we all can chip in
Undisputed.com.
maybe $10 or something like that, I know we can make it happen. And we'll
I think it's only like $180 to get like a legit Fringe Fanatics. Like you could get our logo on it.
That'd be badass.
And
That would
then,
be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can even leave the side plates blank, so we
That's-
could put
yeah,
the fucking
That's the
go
plan.
get it
Engrave it each year.
Because in my main league, that's been like my friends and family league forever. One of the guys literally made a fucking Super Bowl trophy,
Wow.
and then we put it. Then my other cousin that's in the league, took it to a trophy shop and got it put on like a stand that we could put like all the fucking
all
little
the nameplates.
plaques.
That's
the
cool.
Nameplates. So.
Yeah, yeah. That's the way it should be. And it's speaking of Samir, he won the first year that I had done a commissioner, and I got him a trophy with his name in there. And so I mean, like, we want this to be legit. So
Yeah.
we're
definitely willing to foot some of the bill, but if we can get a little bit of charity,
that would.
Because as far as we're concerned, if everybody wants to continue this, everybody that's in it will continue to be in it.
Yeah.
And it'll be like a waiting list to get in is going to be the type of deal that we're looking to have, where it's like, you know, we've got a few standbys that are ready to take places if people can't continue on.
And then when I win it, I'll put the belt like right there. That way everybody can see it each week.
Yeah, hopefully one of us wins it so we can just display it here. But then we would feel like assholes, especially since I got the first pick. But... you know,
we'll see. We'll see about that, man. It should be good. But Chris,
yes.
We got one last little bit of news to recap some UFC.
That is true.
Hit it, Mills Lane.
Let's get it on!
For the third time.
Never gets old.
Get it on. That's right. This weekend, UFC 291 happened, and we had the battle for the BMF belt.
Chris, what's
and
BMF stand for?
Bad motherfucker. Or
Yeah,
bad mofo
right.
for those who like to edit and censor things.
The bad
We don't do that
motherfudger.
here. We never edit, guys. I think there's been one thing in the entirety of us recording 45 episodes that we
something
have
I
taken
said.
out, and we probably really didn't even need to take it out. We just felt weird about it.
It was like
so,
early in the stages, and I was nervous about it.
Yeah, you were nervous, and I was like, it could be taken wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, this show is completely uncensored. I literally do no editing now that we've got this sweet new computer set up. It's basically from farm to table, if you will.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah, it's farm
Just
to
like your
table
garden.
sports podcast.
Well, let's get into it, man. And you're right, there is no editing. And when it comes to this, there's sometimes I fucking stumble upon my words or mispronounce shit, but that's what makes it fucking grassroots,
we're
man.
also hanging out, enjoying some libations together, and that's what can happen.
We're monetizing our friendship. That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Hopefully monetizing.
Yeah. If not, we're giving ourselves a good reason to hang out.
That's what it is, man. Good times. Love you, buddy.
Love you, man.
All right. I love to hate you, but I hate to love you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, UFC 291 in Salt Lake City. Let's start with Derek Lewis.
So awesome.
So this guy, it's a shame that he announced that he was retiring afterwards, and he
Did he announce he was
proved me wrong.
retiring?
I saw something about that.
I listened to the whole post fight. Didn't really sound like a
I wasn't
retirement.
sure. Well, it was his last fight on his contract. A lot of
yeah. He did mention
a
that.
lot of people have been beckoning Dana to re-sign him. I'm sure he will after that. This is a huge fan favorite. He's hilarious.
Best
he took off
celebration.
his best celebration. Did you see what he said about his girl afterwards too?
No, I didn't. But I heard when he said
It was
what
pretty
did he
raunchy,
say?
dude. It was
Well, he
good.
took his shorts off and he's like, "Man, sometimes a dickhead got a mind of his own." And
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh
yeah.
shit!"
It's the second time he's taken his shorts off. The first time, a long time ago, Joe asked him after the fight, "Man, you took our shorts off. What was that about?" He's like, "My balls was hot."
Yeah. I think at one time too afterwards he said he had to take a shit after he got done
I
fighting
think
or
he might have. I
something.
wouldn't doubt it. He is hilarious. He's visceral. He says what's on his mind.
Yeah, the Black Beast, dude.
And
Does he have the most knockouts now?
this
again?
fight
Yeah.
put him. He was tied with Matt Brown. This now puts him as the sole owner of as most knockouts, not just in the heavyweight. That's what I think said last week, but I was wrong. It's in the whole UFC with I think 14 now. And he did it on a flying knee right out of the gate, dude.
Yeah, I like how when they asked him, like, "Did you plan that flying knee?" He's like, "Nah, man, that was just some bullshit."
Yeah, he was like, that was just some bullshit,
Yeah.
man.
He's like, "We've been working on it," but he's like, "I had no intention of throwing it." He's
You
like,
know what I just
ran out."
realized?
Bah!
Jorge Masvidal was in the crowd that night for the BMF
Maybe
title
that's
to
why.
pass
Maybe
it
they
on.
locked eyes.
I bet he might have done that in his honor.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
That's still the best knockout in UFC history. I feel like is
It's-
Masvidal and Ben
it's up there.
Askren.
I'd
Just
say,
how stiff Ben Askren went, and then Masvidal gets down the ground, is like talking shit to him, and he's just like this, just like
have you ever seen Edson Barboza's
Edson Barboza.
Yeah, his wheel kick that he spun around. I can't remember the guy that he knocked out, but I'll send you the link after we're done.
Oh, I saw another crazy.
A guy
knockout.
fell like a board, like a board afterwards.
Yeah, I watched him knock out, and I don't know what it was on. I'd have to try and find it. But this dude fucking roundhouses this guy, like a spinning back roundhouse. Lifts him off of his feet. The dude like goes sideways, and smacks the fucking
falls like a
mat.
fish.
Like, damn, dude.
It's crazy when the brain shuts off. It's like
Yeah,
off.
it is weird watching people get knocked
Yeah,
out. And the
but
weird
in the
shit
first-
their body does.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Derek Lewis, big heavyweight, goes up for a flying knee, catches this guy in the chin, and
Severe underdog, mind you.
yeah, he was too. And
Yeah.
I stand corrected because I said it on the podcast,
picked
and
against him.
I picked in my DK lineup. I picked against him, and man, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yep, but man, he's entertaining as hell. He's always had great knockouts. He's a hard-hitting motherfucker. I really hope Dana re-signs him, but I just just cover the Conan main event, the main event, but I had to talk about him, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, let's move into the co-main event, though. Alex Pereira versus Jan Blachowicz.
You're making me
Blachowicz.
mess it up. Damn.
Blachowicz.
Yeah,
Blachowicz.
so this was kind of a tough fight. I really thought it was going to be a little better. It was kind of a letdown. Alex Pereira ended up getting the decision. And did you see what Izzy had to say about that whole thing right afterwards?
No,
Because
but I saw Jan came out and said he didn't lose that fight.
he said he got
basically,
robbed.
yeah.
With I could see it going either way. But right after the fight, I mean, as soon as it hit double zeros, Alex stands up and does. And this is what Israel Adesanya said. He was like, "Dude, you can't do that. You have to stand up and put your hands up because if it's ever a question,
Yeah,
close,
and you look tired. Yeah,
that doesn't look good to the judges."
Yeah.
And Jan kept sitting exhausted. He was gassed from the end of the first round when he tried those submission attempts. And I cannot believe how bad his conditioning was in this. But that's what lost him the fight, basically. Because he tried to take down Alex Pereira a few times. The first round, he had some success with it. Had a rear naked choke attempt. Didn't really get much.
He almost got him.
He did. He almost got it with that, but Alex defended it well. Then in the second round, Alex really came back, landed some good shots on him. Jan tried to take him down again, really didn't do much. And then in the third round, it really swayed towards Alex's favor because he landed more strikes, some good leg kicks. And then in the last 30 seconds, Jan got a takedown and then laid on top of him.
Yeah.
Didn't ground and pound him, didn't do anything. And some of the judges or some of the commentators are like, well, maybe that was the tipping point. Maybe that won him the fight. It's like what we've seen with some of these different fighters where they maybe have gotten a few takedowns, but they don't do anything with it. I don't think the judges like that.
Yeah, when you're just basically laying on the guy and you're not trying to advance position and you're not trying to ground and pound, it just looks like, you're just trying to catch your breath at that point.
And that's what it was.
And it works
man.
against you.
Yeah.
You get the points for the takedown, but then it's basically like, well, you didn't do shit with the takedown. So.
And it was embarrassing because I did pick Jan. If you guys listened last week, I said he was going to take him down. His wrestling's better, but he didn't do much with it. And I've got to attribute that to Glover Teixeira coaching Alex Pereira. And
I think it also has to go a lot to what we talked about previously is just him going up in weight to what he should be fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like you said, at the end of it, Jan Blachowicz is just totally exhausted, and Pereira's,
still
basically like, oh shit, it's easy fighting like this.
Yeah, 3 rounds, no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, it wasn't title fight for him. The last
Yeah.
couple of fights for him have been title fights. And yeah, I mean, I think Glover Teixeira from Brazil, out there training in Connecticut out of all the places. It's crazy. But those two have a friendship that is like Startsy and Hutch or something, man. I don't know why I named those two. But yeah, they have
one of the better remakes in terms of movies.
Yeah, it actually was really funny. Yeah, that's a good point.
Not bad.
But yeah, they just got
Bacardi
a funny
and Coke, do it.
Glover Teixeira, man, he's a great jiu-jitsu guy, really good wrestling, and I think that for a guy like Alex Pereira, that's a kickboxer. I mean, we see where the effects of having Glover as a coach really paid off because it was his takedown defense that really won him this fight.
Yeah.
But it was a close one. I think this is definitely going to elevate Alex to fight.
He's got to be the main,
yeah, he's going to
contender for the belt at this point now.
Yep, Yuri Prohaska will be returning soon. He was the one that had to vacate the title, which then led Jamal Hill to have it, and then Jamal Hill tore his Achilles. Like I said, I really think this light heavyweight title is cursed. It really seems like it. But
we talked about it's the curse of, isn't it Izzy?
He fights at middleweight.
Or no, what was it? Oh shit!
Are you talking about my tinfoil hat idea that I pitched to you?
What was it?
That was the Seattle Seahawks.
No.
Okay.
No. I thought there was like some curse around the belt or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe the John Jones curse?
John Jones curse. Yeah, that's what it is. Not Izzy. John Jones.
Yeah, maybe
that's
so.
Right.
Oh, dude, I wanted to bring up this, not meme, but basically a graphic that showed all of, maybe we've talked about it, but all of these fighters' records after fighting John Jones.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about.
It's abysmal, dude. Like and nobody can recover from.
I think I sent it to you too.
Yeah, after you fight John Jones, your career just plummets, and it's not just like it's great fighters. Dominic Reyes, Alex Gustafsson. I mean, all of these guys that were at the peak of their career, then they fight John Jones, everything falls apart.
Yeah, and that just, it's a curse, man.
It is. But yeah, I definitely think that it will be the next fight for the light heavyweight title because it was vacated because Jamal Hill, going to be out for so long, had to vacate the title totally. So there won't be an interim title. It will be for the real, actual title. And that'll be a good one, man. Yuri Proska, I mean, you're looking at a guy that trains with the samurai sword up there in fucking, like, the Netherlands or something in the mountains in cold weather against Poatan.
He means business.
Yeah, like a tribal warrior from Brazil.
Samurai sword.
Who's got a spear. I almost want to see these guys fight with weapons. That'd be fucking kick ass, dude.
So you basically want gladiators.
That I would watch that. No, I would pay for the pay-per-view then, because I always do.
I would too.
Yeah,
but. Let's get into the Head Kick Heard Round the World 2.0 Salt Lake City edition.
And that is why I poured this shot for Justin Gaethje, fighting out of Colorado, Wheat Ridge, Trevor Whitman's boys, my favorite coach. Got to hand it to you, man. And you proved me wrong. I picked against you, so I'm taking this shot because I was a dumbass. Yeah. Cheers.
I picked up the right for once.
Yeah, cheers to Gaethje, man. He credited that 2018 loss to Dustin as the turning point in his career.
Dustin fucked him up. We talked about it last week. It was
he did, but I will say Justin was a few leg kicks away from like breaking Dustin's leg. It was an awesome fight.
He started out that way too.
Yeah, that's what I've got written down here. Is I mean, the first round was basically trading calf kicks. That's really what it was, but Justin was landing more.
And see, I thought, and maybe I'm wrong, dude, but I could have swore there was more than one head kick in the first round.
Yeah,
setting up the head kick. I think he saw something all the way, like that. He was dropping his arms when something happened.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but he was definitely dropping, and he knew it. And I want to say it was at least 2 to 3 times he tried it before he fucking landed.
Yeah, the first round I think he tried it, and then Dustin blocked it, but it still landed pretty severe. I mean, if you put your arm up there and a kick comes, dude. You're still taking that impact.
A fucking full kick right next to your face with like your hand right there, you're getting kicked in the head still.
But that is what is so remarkable about this, because it just mirrored Leon Edwards' infamous kick against his teammate.
They showed it next to each other.
They did multiple
afterwards.
times. Yeah. Against Kamaru Usman, and that was actually last August too, almost a year to the date.
Yeah.
And it was I say mirrored because Leon's I think came with the left kick, and then Justin's came with the right kick. But what you do is you kind of throw a light jab with your left or your right, whichever way you're going to throw the kick,
depending on your stance.
And you're not even taking the jab too serious. What you want the opponent to do is just kind of drop his defense to block that jab coming through, and you kind of fake the jab almost, and then come through and you load up on a head kick and you land it perfectly. And then when they show those two side by side, it was
almost identical.
Identical. And identical, how the guys fell.
Poirier wasn't as out as Usman was.
Yeah.
Usman's
eyes rolled back in the head.
Out.
He was seeing stars.
Poirier was still kind of there, like trying to get back up.
Did you see his tweet about the people's elbow?
No.
Yeah, so Herb Dean did a good job of like sliding in
Yeah,
on
but he
top
kinda
of
elbowed
Dustin
him.
because Justin, the fucking killer, was going to come through and hit
He
him.
did hit him
He
with
got
one.
one. He got one hit on him while he was unconscious. But Herb Dean came through there and saved him. But Dustin tweeted, he was like, "Damn, Herb Dean came through and hit me with the people's elbow."
Yeah.
He fucking did too, man. But dude, I gotta hand this to Justin. I mean, I think, and a lot of other analysts that I listen to, if anybody's really into UFC, check out Morning Combat on YouTube. These guys really break down the fights really well. They're really good analysts, and they said that this fight by Justin showed how poised, patient, and calculated he was in this fight. I mean, Justin is notorious for being chaos. He goes through there and just puts all concern for his body aside and just gets through there and wants to fight in a phone booth.
Yeah.
And if he gets fucked up, he gets fucked up, but he puts on a show. And he continues his fight bonus with this fight. I'm not sure what it's at, but I mean, it's got to be at 6 or 7 now. No matter what, when this guy steps into the octagon.
There was a couple times, too, in this fight that they just traded blows.
They did.
Just like, damn, dude.
The
Like,
first
just
round,
going toe-to-toe, dude.
it wasn't as like what am I trying to say? It wasn't like as exciting as a lot of people expected, like as much carnage as a lot of people expected, but it was still really good. They traded blows.
Poirier cut Justin really
He did.
early.
Even when he got interviewed after the fight, you're like, wow, how did his face get that fucked up? It only lasted barely over a round.
Yeah.
And I mean, Justin's face kind of had some black eyes and stuff.
That goes back to what you were saying just about Poirier having basically fucking bricks in his gloves.
He does too.
And it wasn't even that hard of a hit that it looked like, but dude, as soon as he hit him, and it didn't look like he had that much damage there or anything, but it's just like, boom, a right hook just right on the right hook on the left temple. It just fucking split his eyebrow open. He just starts gushing. I was like, damn, that could severely fucking hinder this fight.
And it speaks to what I'm talking about, because in every other fight, Justin would just throw all reason to the side and just go start trading blows with this guy.
He definitely
but
was more calculated.
He
this
was
time.
way more patient, poised, and calculated his shots. And I mean, he did too, because like I said, he kind of faked that jab and then threw that head kick. And like I said on the podcast last week, dude, Dustin fights with his hands lower than most people, and that's what led to that head kick coming through. But that shocked me, man. You never see Dustin knocked out like that, and that head kick landed perfectly. And
It caught him on the back of the head.
It did.
It's like on like
the whole foot.
His foot hit it, like his foot wrapped around, smacked him in the back of the neck,
right at that ankle part, man. I mean, that's a perfect head kick, and I hand it to Justin,
cold.
man. That's Trevor Whitman for you. That's excellent training and excellent striking. Excuse me. I do want
Bless you, child.
to mention Gaethje's comments after the fight, because right after he won, of course, Conor McGregor and his coked up ass had to tweet at Justin Gaethje. He quote unquote, "I will slap you around," is what Conor McGregor said. And then so after the fight, in the the presser, and the reporter asked Justin about it, and he was like, and to sum it up, basically, I don't want to fight somebody on steroids.
Yeah.
And said, most times when people fight Conor, it's when they lose.
Yeah.
Because the UFC wants to give a fight to Conor to make sure he wins.
I can't remember. I think I saw even Dustin had some comments in regards to Conor after the fight too.
I can't remember what he had said.
I can't remember either,
yeah,
but yeah,
it's ridiculous, because Conor's supposed to fight Michael Chandler, and now he's going after
like
Justin.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that was supposed to happen. But I mean, I love Justin's comments about it, because he called him out, and everybody knows Conor's on roids, and just basically says it right out, flat out. I don't want to fight anybody that's on steroids. He said, I'm not a cheater. I've never used steroids. He said, maybe I will when I retire, because that's the honest answer. I wish I could. But
I might start. I don't know.
Yeah, get on some TRT.
TRT replacement.
Yep. But Justin will probably fight the winner of the fight in October between Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira in Abu Dhabi.
Ooh.
And I mean, that makes me nervous.
It's
for
gonna be an early fight. God damn it.
Yeah, it probably will be. Well, sometimes they do cater to U.S. time, so we'll see. But I bet it'll probably be Abu Dhabi time.
It'd be like 4:00 in the morning in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm kind of worried for Justin, because I don't know. I still don't feel confident against him, against Oliveira or Islam. But after that fight and seeing how much he's improved, I can't count him out against anybody.
Yeah, and now we've got the Sandhagen versus who fight night coming up next.
I know. I
this
wanted
weekend?
to prepare for this.
We don't have to get into it.
No,
I don't think it's
Rob
this
Font.
weekend, is it?
No, I think they changed it from Rob Font. No, it's this weekend.
Oh shit.
Well, we also have the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz fight this Saturday as well.
Oh, speaking of which, did you see that Nate Diaz just got up and walked out of that interview
No.
without saying anything? They were talking to him, and the dude was interviewing Jake Paul. And Nate Diaz just got up and left.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
I don't know what
It's
that
like
was
the dude
all about.
interviewing him, Jake Paul on one side, Nate Diaz on the other. He just got up and left.
Damn, fuck yeah, Nate Diaz.
I don't
is a
know if it's
gangster,
even going to
man.
happen, dude. We'll see what happens.
I know it's gonna happen. There's too much money at stake, but
Well,
yeah.
I'm surprised. Did they have to move it out of Texas? Because Nate Diaz says he's smoking weed, and they're like, did you not know about the Texas laws about fighting?
Nashville, I believe. I thought it was
And
in
he's
Nashville.
like, oh, is it? Then they moved it.
As far as I know, I think it's still in Nashville.
At one
but,
point, someone was asking him. He's like, "Oh man, I'm just still smoking and stuff." And they're like, "Do
Oh.
you not know about the laws here?" And he's
excuse
like,
me, I got that wrong. The UFC fight night this weekend is in Nashville because it's fine. It's been traveling
Oh, yeah,
around.
yeah.
It was in London, I think, a couple weeks ago or
Yeah.
whatever. Now it's in Nashville. It's Rob Font versus Sandhagen, another Colorado dude from Aurora. Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman. Very exciting fight this weekend.
Putting people to sleep.
Oh yeah, starts at 4:00.
Got the sleeps in the eyes. Them
Yep.
crusties. up
I
in
don't
the
know how much
corners.
I'll pay attention to the Nate Diaz fight. Some of those Jake Paul fights are more theatrics than anything.
I did watch the last one against
Tommy Fury.
Yeah, just because I was like, he's gonna get knocked out, and I was really
glad.
hoping
Yeah,
he did.
I was really glad Tommy at least beat him. So
yeah, that's
we'll
at least
see.
the only thing we've got is that he's on a losing streak. So,
Right.
all right, man. Well, that wraps it up for UFC 291. We've got Fight Night, Corey Sandhagen and
Rob Font.
Rob
Yep.
Font.
Font's
So that's going to be another fun one next weekend. We will be talking about that one, not nearly as in depth as UFC 291, but the next couple UFC events are pretty big ones, man.
Yeah, August 19th, we got a huge one that I can't wait. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. That's going to be a good one.
I think Aljamain might beat him up.
Oh, dude,
I think-
Aljamain's.
I think,
his wrestling is
I
so
think
good.
Sugar Shane is a little bit of sugar glass, easy to break.
He's like a twig, dude. He is so skinny. I mean, but his reach is so much. If he can catch Aljo, I mean, I'm psyched for that one. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of both those guys, so we'll see.
All right, man. Well, let's get into the Rec Center. We need to come up with something for the Rec Center. I feel like this is going to be
I
something
realize
I'm
that
gonna have
too.
to write a tune for.
That'd be cool.
I might just do like an acoustic tune. Take me to the Rec Center. I don't know. Either way, it's time for the Rec Center. We're going to do a quick Rec Center this week because I started listening to something. I heard about it yesterday. I started listening to it today. It's a podcast called Play Callers. You can find it for sure on Spotify. It is hosted by Jordan Rodriguez, and she does an excellent job of taking us into a deep dive of the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree and how it started and where it began. I am one episode in.
I'm gonna look
and
it
it's
up right now, man,
talking
because
a lot about Shanahan and all of these guys. Mike McDaniel, Mike LaFleur, right? Mike LaFleur, and then who else?
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel, and then
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay. Fuck,
Yeah,
I
you
can't remember
keep
Sean
forgetting his
McVay's name. Sean McVay, Mike McDaniel, Mike LaFleur, and then Kyle Shanahan, and it basically just goes down and talks about how all of these guys came up together. The first episode is called. Let me tell you what it's called because I was just listening to it not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to this tomorrow because it sounds really interesting.
The first episode is The Kids Are All Right.
Oh, it's done by The Athletic?
Yeah, The
Oh, wow,
Athletic,
that
yeah.
makes sense. That's
It
like
is insanely in depth. I'm talking breaking down the hows and whys, and then unfortunately for you Chiefs fans and anybody else who doesn't like the Broncos, you are going to have to hear about how Mike Shanahan and the Broncos in the mid-90s started the craze that is the West Coast offense and turned it into what it is today. And the majority of these high-scoring offenses are some offshoot of the West Coast offense more often than not.
you know where that started from. Not so much.
It wasn't so much Mike Shanahan, it
Bill
was
Walsh.
Bill Walsh, but
Yep.
Mike Shanahan is a direct descendant of the Bill Walsh coaching tree.
Well, Well,
and Mike Shanahan is the one that basically turned the Bill Walsh system into the ultimate West Coast
you know
offense.
how Sean McVay's tied to that, right?
Because he came up with Kyle Shanahan.
Well, that's what helped him get the job, but his granddaddy was the GM of those 49ers teams.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I do forget that he does have a little bit of, God damn it.
Well, and then his dad was heavily involved with football, but I can't remember what his
Nepotism.
dad did. Oh, yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
how
I mean,
football
all
works.
of these guys did. Mike McDaniels, I think, is the only one. I haven't heard too much about LaFleur yet, but McDaniels he was a ball boy for the Broncos when Kyle was there, also like in the beginning stages.
Well, I told you about what that UPS guy, that story told me, right? I think I told you.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah, how like Kyle Shanahan lived in the pool house of Mike's, and then like would throw all these parties, and there'd just be like naked
they
chicks
talk
everywhere.
about that, like Kyle Shanahan like trying to become like a football player and like realizing when he was trying to be a wide receiver, he's like, shit, I'm not good at this, but he's like, I understand football. And like it like, dude, this first one's crazy. Like, I'm just gonna do a quick little synopsis of it, but they're talking about RG3 and stuff a lot. And Kyle Shanahan comes to RG3, and this is like his rookie season. They started out fucking like 3-6, I think, or something like that. And everybody's like, oh my god, this team's fucking terrible. We're gonna blow it up. Mike Shanahan's talking about like, we're gonna have to see who really wants to play. And then they win 7 straight, and then go into the playoffs, beating the Cowboys for a play-in game. But at one point during the season, Kyle Shanahan comes up to RG3 and he's like, what's a play that you'd like to install? Because they've been running this one play called drift, which is basically like a slant that's run out of the pistol formation. We kind of talked about this before.
Yeah.
They realized that they were going to have to, in order to make RG3, competent with all the stuff that he can do, that they were going to have to run something like an RPO out of the pistol. And they just... Kyle's just like, hey, so we've been running this drift thing, and they're averaging, I think, in that first season, they ran it 80 times. They completed it 60 times for an average of 20 yards.
Jesus.
This one play.
That's so efficient.
There was no stopping it. Because out of the pistol, they were saying, like, so normally in the pistol, you'll put the back to one side. Well, the defense knows you can only run the ball to that one side. So now they know if it is a run, it's only going to the right or the left. He's like, but out of the pistol in the NFL, nobody knew what the fuck you were going to do, because you had no judgment of where you were going to put the back. So, and he's like, and I realized, because one thing about Mike Shanahan's offense is they never really used play action in the West Coast offense that Shanahan used. It was all boots and the spread zone running game.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan realized, like, well, we're not even running play action. He's like, so you're missing out on all of the shit that you could be doing. And then from the pistol, they realized, look, I can run literally every single thing from play action to the zone read run offense out of the pistol and run the entire RPO thing. And he comes up to RG3 and he's like, what's a play that you'd like to install? And RG3 comes up with this play that he ran a bunch. And it was basically like a bunch of options for the wide receivers. And he's like, they ran it the first time in practice. It didn't work the way it was, but he hit the wide receiver on time and stride. And Shanahan's like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, it's like, that's the way the play's like kind of supposed to work, but it didn't really. And then they end up reinstalling it, and they start running it, and they can't stop it. Nobody can stop it.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan's like, do you know why I asked you that? Or why I asked you to install this play? He's like, no. He's like, because I knew that if you installed this play, you would do everything you could to make it work.
Oh, cool.
There's nothing that you wouldn't do to not make that play succeed. He's like, and I wanted you to see that that's how I feel about every play I install in this offense. And RG3 is like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's a genius, man.
But it's crazy, dude. That's just the first fucking episode.
What better way to sell it than, like, look at Kyle Shanahan, a guy that he had 4 starting quarterbacks for his team last year, and they went to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
They put up a fight against the Eagles
that goes
where
to
Christian
show you
McCaffrey was taking snaps at quarterback.
It's the system. But,
yeah.
Super fucking entertaining, super interesting, and I'm just, like, one episode in, and this is, like, the broad episode, like, kind of showing you where the coaching tree comes from. And then it's going to branch off into, God damn it, I forgot his fucking name again. Sean McVay. God damn it, dude. Sean McVay, and then it goes into LaFleur, then it goes to McDaniel. But it's super interesting. I would recommend anybody to listen.
Fuck yeah.
Especially if you want to, like, get more in depth into why offenses work,
X's and
why you're
O's.
running what you're running, and
Yeah.
for what reasons. But
Cool.
what is yours, man?
Well, you threw me off because I didn't know we were doing Rec Center this week, but I'll just throw in a show that we just finished last night that is superb.
Yeah.
It's The Bear on Hulu.
So you now have watched, is it both seasons or just one
Both
season?
seasons.
Oh, yeah.
The most recent season just came out, and we just finished it. And if that's how we met, working in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Obviously, this wasn't any type of top end
Well, it didn't
Michelin.
start out that way in the beginning of the series. It was
No,
just a sandwich shop.
But that's
where
why
it
I
goes to in
appreciate
season
it.
2.
Is it just shows how chaotic it is to work in a restaurant when it's busy, the lunch rush. We've both been there. You know, we worked right across the street from Capitol. We had senators, representatives, governors coming into Tokyo Joe's.
That episode in the first season with the fucking ticket printer,
Yeah.
and it was just going off.
Going,
I was
going.
like, dude,
Yeah.
that
How
I was getting PTSD.
Yep. And then we installed the app where it's like you would get an app and it would be a scroll.
Yeah.
And oh, dude, it was nuts. And I will never forget.
Freaking out, man.
When I first started at Tokyo Joe's, that's why I love this show. Is you're such a noob. I remember Kevin Lovato, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He fucking told me this is how much of a noob and a greenhorn I was to the restaurant industry. We're sitting there cutting up veggies on my first day, and he's like, "You know, I'm a part owner at Tokyo Joe's." I'm like, "Wow, dude! Like that's cool. Like you work back here
that
too."
dude did
Like,
some of the most fucked up shit I've
he
ever
was
seen.
very much fucked up,
He
but
was
he got
hardcore.
me, and that was such a good entryway to like the welcome to the NFL moment, where it was like,
Yeah.
clearly he's fucking with me, but I got really good at it, and I got really good at the line, and
Yeah.
just that we were an inkling of what it was to like run an actual high-end Michelin star restaurant. And not only just that, the character development, each one of these characters, the second season, I'm looking at it right now on
Oh, there's
IDMB.
so many famous
It's
people.
rated
Jamie Lee
IMDb.
Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis in this second season is
Yeah.
fantastic, dude. Hannah loved it because, you know, she's a
Bob
huge
Odenkirk.
Halloween fan. The guy that played in Lake Placid, I can't think. He's a bigger guy. I can't think of this guy's name. He's awesome. The cast is unreal, and I mean, I'm looking at it on IMDb. I always fuck that up. Yeah, IBD, and it has a rating of 9.7. How often does a show have a rating?
Yeah,
that
I'd be
high,
interested
man?
to see what the rating on is Rotten Tomatoes, but I know it's up there. Everybody loves this show. I've only watched the first season. We've been trying to catch up on all of our fucking shows that we need to finish.
It's tough,
But The
It's
Bear is
rare
definitely on there.
that we binge a show, but we were like 3 episodes from finishing it, and last night we were just like, let's keep going. We got to keep going. It's that good, man. I mean,
It is super good.
it's excellent. So
Yeah.
check out The Bear. If you've ever worked in a restaurant or service industry
dude,
at
it'll
all,
fucking give you flashbacks.
it is so worth watching because it shows the anxiety. It gives you anxiety watching it.
Yeah, it does. Like I said, the episode where they get super busy and the ticket printer's going off is just fucking the most nerve-wracking. The tension they build, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that whole scene is a single-shot scene.
Oh,
and
cool.
that was what was so crazy about it, is that it was single shot, which is the whole new thing in movie making now, is to film everything
It's
in
like
one
a
single
Christopher
shot.
Nolan thing.
Yeah, but either way, it is an insanely good show. I have watched the first season, so if you haven't yet, go check out The Bear.
Yep, it's
and,
amazing.
Get bared up, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
if you don't go watch The Bear and you feel like a bear, go find yourself a nice otter to hang out with, you know what I mean?
You're dumb, Chris. Let's hit it hard.
Oh, man, let's do it. It's that time, y'all. We's bouts to hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard.
Man.
That is right, y'all. John Daly hits it hard. We hit it hard.
You see he was in a country
Larceny
music video?
Whiskey hits it hard. I did not see that he was in a music video.
I don't know the guy. I just watched his Instagram story last night. I thought I heard the dogs barking. I was wondering what that was about.
Paused.
Yeah. But yeah, he was like, it's this whole thing about waking up on the wrong side of the tailgate and like of a truck bed, or basically. But yeah, I saw John Daly was in it. I was like, dude, he's so fucking rad. I dig it, man. I dig it.
John Daly is fucking awesome.
He is.
I mean, he's the epitome of this show.
And I think he would approve of this week's amazing superstar Daily Dose of Excellence, a winner.
Some guy we've been talking about quite a lot recently.
And he deserves it because, most times for such a notable guy, we don't want to, it's just talked about enough. We don't need to give him more flowers. But this was pretty unprecedented.
Yes. This is some Little League type shit.
It is, yeah. So last week, it was like the day after I think we recorded. It was July 27th, I believe. Shohei Ohtani throws an MLB shutout. I don't know why I just said it like that. I'm an idiot. And then homers twice in the second game.
Yeah, so he pitches a complete game shutout in the first game of a doubleheader.
Which is unheard of in the MLB, where a pitcher finishes the full 9 innings.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. The only way you're doing it is if you're on a no-hitter or you're pitching a shutout, and they're going to have to let you do it.
Yep.
More often than not, they will take you out in like the 6th or 7th inning unless it's, some sort of unprecedented type stuff.
Yep.
They did not take Shohei out. He ends up pitching a complete game and then just goes and rakes in the next game, which is why it's so crazy, because when was the last time you've heard of a pitcher pitching in a game and then hitting in the game after that?
Yeah, I mean, like Kornheiser brought up on PTI, he could have easily just sat out the second game and been like, okay, I'm going to put some ice on my shoulder, just relax, watch this game. No. That's why we love Ohtani, and I keep saying it every week. He has helped me fall back in love with baseball. I just watched the Braves and Angels the other day. I put a little bit of money on the Braves. I'm like, all right, they're playing the Angels. The Angels got to try to get to the playoffs. This is an exciting game. And sure enough, they beat the Braves. Ohtani didn't do a whole lot. He actually got robbed in that game of getting his 40th home run, and then a Braves outfielder just made a
hell of a catch on the wall.
Yeah, right on the wall. It was pretty amazing.
Bitch.
But it's just every time this guy's at bat, it's super exciting. I believe right now, I don't have the full numbers, but I think he's at 39 home runs. It's insane what he's doing right now. But to pitch a full game, a shutout, the Angels won 6-0, and then to go through in the second game and hit 2 home runs, it's just I can't stress this enough when people say, "Oh, since Babe Ruth." No, don't say that. Babe Ruth never did that. Once Babe Ruth started to hit home runs, he stopped pitching. Look this up.
That is one thing. Once he became like a prolific hitter, he wasn't pitching. It was only in the early days that he was pitching and hitting.
Yep. And so what Ohtani's doing is so unprecedented. This is what nobody else is doing. I just gotta. My hat's off to him. They will be getting Mike Trout back. I'd say maybe 3 weeks from now. I really hope the Angels can make a run for it. I'd love to see him in the playoffs.
It would be nice, and we kind of realized that after the trade deadline that the Angels are all in on this season, and I think they kind of realized that they have to be because as soon as Ohtani becomes a free agent, he's gone.
Yeah.
They can't pay him. So they're going to try and do what they can. They did make some moves. I think the Rockies traded a pitcher to him as well as both of those hitters. And Mike Moustakas. So, yeah, they've got a whole bunch of Rockies over there that were doing a little bit for us, and now they're going to do a lot for them.
When I was watching that Braves-Angels game, one of those new Rockies hit a home run in that game. Yeah, so they've got a good supporting cast, and hats off to him just for not being a prima donna and just playing the regular role as an MLB player and doing way more than
he's one of those guys that it's like if it was – I mean, I don't really know the way to put this. Like, I mean, there's guys in the NBA that like are the guys and they act like the guys. And then you have guys like Jokic, and then you have guys like Ohtani, and then you have guys
like Giannis too.
Man.
Yeah, I can say Giannis.
Yeah, doesn't really talk too much. They're not brash about it. I guess is the best way to put it. And they just go out and show up and do their work and go home. And all they do is just piss excellence.
That's
Jesus Christ.
And get the daily dose of excellence.
They get the daily dose of excellence on behalf of John Daly.
Cheers to you, Ohtani. I'd love to see him live someday. If they ever play the Rockies,
the next time they play the Rockies, we might have to take a podcast field trip.
That would be awesome, dude.
Well,
I'm telling you, I'm watching a lot more baseball.
Here's to you, my friend.
Here's to you. Cheers to you, Otani, and cheers to you guys for listening
Yes.
and putting up with us through that draft order.
Yeah, you know the draft order. This is episode 45 of Fringe Fanatics. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe to us on whatever you're listening or watching us on. And please rate us 5 stars.
Real quick, we have a phone number now.
Oh, I got to figure out what it is. Hold on. I'll tell you what the phone number is.
But
Son of
if
a
you
bitch.
guys, while you look it up, if you guys got any questions, if I know even my mom's out there has been sometimes like, hey, I had this question about football. Well, with these rules, what happens? If you guys out there are listening, even if it's any of our relatives or whatever it might be, call this number.
Us and leave us a voicemail. If you leave us a voicemail, we'll listen to it on air.
Oh, damn
and
right we will.
Respond and react to it on air.
Even if you
And
guys got any criticisms, I know Gregor's does. He always does.
Yeah, he's always
So
got something to say.
We would love to hear him yapping
the
away.
Fringe Fanatics phone number is 720-441-5116. Again, that is 720-441-5116. I'm sorry. 720-441-5116. Jesus Christ.
Just rewind if you need to.
Yeah, rewind
do that.
it.
Yeah. But call us
But yeah,
up, guys.
Ask
us some questions.
You can, leave us voicemails. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Eventually, I would love to have a basically a segment where we have phone calls that are come in.
Yeah,
so.
that'd be nice. The plan was to already be streaming by now, but I think probably next month because he'll be gone next week.
Yep.
And we want to keep this thing that we got going and get a little bit more, I guess integrated in, and then we will start streaming live, and then you can literally call us while we are recording and talk to us live, and it'll go out to the world. So
Damn right it will.
those are the things that are going to be happening soon, and we appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. Chad Lee, I love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Thanks
for listening, guys.
Have been awesome, guys. We appreciate you as always. Stick
Cheers to
around,
you.
and next week, episode 46 of Fringe Fanatics will be coming at you hard and heavy.
Damn right.
Cheers, guys. Do something weird for the fucking
Thumbnail?
Yeah, thumbnail. All right.
I didn't know
Thank
what
you,
to do.
guys.
I didn't know what.
We'll see you later.